Hey guys, happy morning, happy Saturday, and we have Rohit who is joining us today. He's an artist, he's an actor, he's a dancer, he is a singer, he is, he writes poets, he writes scripts, he's a biker, many more. Last time he chose his Akka name as Howdy, and today he wants to be called differently. And he loves to be known with names which are like very, very humorous. So he's an artist, come dishwasher. For this particular episode. So thanks a lot, Rohit, for joining us. And why did you choose this particular movie, Scent of a Woman? I saw the trailer. It's beautiful. I've not watched it, but why? So your reviews on this particular movie?
Awesome. Well, thanks for the introduction, Ravi. Thanks for having me. Why this movie? It changed my life because it was a film that brought two stratas of society together and very unconventional stratas. In film, you normally see, okay, the divide between the rich and the poor. But this wasn't between the rich and the poor. This was a young man in his prime looking for money and an old man who's finished his life more or less and looking for one last gasp of air to live before he wants to kill himself. And he's blind. And he's blind. So to have seen all the colors of the rainbow of life and then to grow blind, but still be very sharp, imagine what's going through that character's brain. And the whole story also sort of takes place a little bit in New York. And you got to love New York. Anything can happen in New York. So having I watched it, I just couldn't take my eyes off the screen. Like, ये भी हो सकता है real life में, you know. Uh, and it also taught me a lot of empathy. The director did such a wonderful job in the little details, of getting the characters right. And I think the characters themselves also put in a lot of research and work by themselves. And it showed. When you saw the performances, you just couldn't take your eyes off. So even if there was one character who was there for 30 seconds, it was a beautiful 30 seconds. It didn't feel like 30 seconds at all. And yeah, and the title. It really has nothing to do a lot with the film. It's a small nuance of this character. But to take that and to keep that as the title, oh man, it was something else. I think one of Pacino's greatest works, according to me.
Super.
So that's why I sort of chose this film.
Yeah. So any
And
specific
it also
scene?
represents a lot of values.
Yeah, any specific
Oh,
scene that touched is very close to your heart, or you still remember?
oh yes, like it was the first time I watched it. There's a scene in the hotel room where Al Pacino comes back and he gets dressed up in his full uniform, right? And he's finished his life now. He's finished his escapade in New York, and now he wants to kill himself, right? So he takes his pistol, his service revolver, and is going to kill himself. But just then, the boy character comes in and tries to stop him. And it's a very intense scene. And finally ends up stopping him. That was one scene. There's another scene where they're in the Baird School auditorium. And there's sort of a petty crime that has been committed. And this character is under trial by the school. Now, since he doesn't have his parents there, Al Pacino decides to come and speak for him. And he gives this beautiful speech on how the Baird School is raising a bunch of thieves and, a bunch of people who talk behind your back. There's no trust, there's no loyalty. Whereas this guy, he didn't flinch, he didn't rat on his friends. But you want to take him down? That's not right. So he gave a beautiful speech, which you couldn't help but you know. And last but not the least to mention, there's this one lady who comes after the scene, and Al Pacino's walking and he's blind and he holds her wrist, feels her wrist, and guesses the perfume she's wearing. That's it. And the scene ends, and I'm like, oh, oh, what a beautiful scene. So yeah, scenes like that, man. There's dime a dozen in this film. If you watch the film, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. But these three scenes really appealed to me because they were so subtle and you could have taken them in so many different directions. But to do it like this, that was the only way to go. I keep asking myself as a writer director, would I have done it differently? No, I wouldn't change a thing. So, yeah.
So, who should watch it? Can you watch it with family, with kids, or it's only for couples to watch?
No, I suggest children, from children to if you're on your deathbed, anywhere in between, anywhere in between, because it's about life. And there are a lot of real stories about it, applicable to all age groups and every relationship. It's sort of put everything in there. But it's not your typical family drama. It gives you great insight on other aspects of life and how it's been lived and etc. Especially given the setting that's there during a little old school New York.
Okay. So, is
It
this
makes you
movie
want to go.
similar? Is this movie similar to Upari, the movie which came in, with Nagarjuna, where Nagarjuna is physically challenged, or he's paralyzed. 90% of him is paralyzed. Is it on a similar line, or this is
No,
no? Okay.
no, no, it's completely different. It really starts off with this little boy who wants to grow up successful, and he's trying to make enough money to go back home to visit his parents. And before that, there's this petty crime that has been committed. So over the span of 4 days, how this kid's life gets transformed by this lieutenant colonel who's blind and very provocative. That's what the story is about. It's about a lot of ethos of you do not rat on your friends and you stay loyal and be a good person, no matter what comes your way. So I don't think it's really similar, but I'm sure there might be some similarities here and there.
Okay. So, where is the streaming now? So, where is it available?
Well, I have the DVD.
Okay. Okay.
um, but I'm not sure. It might be on a Netflix or an Amazon. I'm really not sure where can be
Yeah.
watched. But I'm sure a lot of people download stuff. So,
Hmm. So yeah,
and for
so
women,
I'll research
yeah,
that. I'll do that research bit and mention which platform it is available in a link.
yeah,
Otherwise, most of the people who have this issue of recollecting as to what where is this movie available, there is an app, there is a
right.
website called justwatch.com, or an app called Just
Mhm.
Watch. So just type in a name that if you want to go and check out old collections, the name, you don't know which platform, because we have a lot of streaming platforms. So just go
Right.
here, type the name, it will tell you whether it's on Netflix, Amazon, or Sony Live, HBO. So doesn't matter. I think it has a list of 30 to 40 platforms. Movies are available. It will show. So this is just for information, friends. Not promoting Just Watch, but I really love the app, because I ended up in situations like this where I don't know where it is, and you start searching, going to individual apps, and see that's like waste of time. You just have this particular one. And the best part with Just Watch is I saw that it also showcases what new content got added up each day in all these platforms. So that's really good. So Rohit,
That's awesome.
you're
Yep.
you're into drama. You're an actor. So given a chance, if which role would have been suited you, or you would love to play in a similar movie?
Oh, Al Pacino.
Al Pacino.
Who? Hands. I mean, hands down. Um, it's one of the most iconic roles ever played. And another thing I wanted to mention about the film is, which we don't give it its due attention. The actors are one thing, sure, and the director is obviously the captain of the ship. But the way it's been shot and the background score and how the close-ups have been taken as vis-a-vis the faraway shots and the movement. So the cinematography of the film is so immaculate that you wouldn't even pay attention to it. You know what I mean? It's so beautiful that you would think it's like that. So for people who are learning film or learning the arts and really want to get into it, this is a beautiful film to watch, to understand, and to learn as well, and not just for the pleasure of the next 2 hours and say, "Oh, okay, that is a great film." You've got to go back, revisit the dialogue, revisit the action, and especially see camera movements and how beautifully it was orchestrated. Because there were a lot of very tough scenes to shoot in this film. He does the tango in a scene with a lady he's met for the first time, but he's blind. Now, to do that convincingly and the tango, oh, it's like magic. But yeah, sorry, I drifted away from the question a little.
Yeah. So which which character which you answered Pacino.
Al Pacino, Al Pacino for sure. I mean, I'm not saying this because I want to be the lead, but the fact to be able to portray a variety of emotions and not all positive. This character has a lot of negative shades as well, very realistic negative shades. And to do that with honesty and conviction, because you want to tell not your story, but a story of people who are going through similar things and what they must be going through. Like, I mean, that's a privilege. And to be able to do justice to it, not easy. So you have to be really good at what you do to be. I mean, that's why he's Al Pacino. So, yeah.
You've done. I mean, you have qualities of many roles. Of people behind the film and in front as an artist and as a writer, scriptwriter. So I generally ask the overall review of a movie, but what's your individual review of if you have to rate between 1 to 5 for each of these music, script, the acting, the actors.
So one being the lowest and five being the highest.
Yes.
Okay, 5.5
Okay. For everything.
for everything. For everything. It's one of those films where you look up to whichever god you pray, and you're like, how the hell did they do this? You know, and it's a once in a generation type of film. After this film, there's been nothing like it. So which is why I highly recommend it. The acting, the direction, the music, the cinematography, uh, and I think the whole team. I think it took about 380 or 400 people who you did not see on set. So you're seeing all this, and there are 380 people behind you. So and to have done it during that time was very hard. It's not like everything's digital now. It wasn't back then. The amount of effort to have put into it. So yeah, 5 on 5. I mean, 5.5 on 5. Totally, hands down. It's a lovely, splendid family drama that talks about the ethos of the human spirit and leaves you mesmerized with its beautiful, immaculately done scenes. So kudos. I mean, this is a great team. Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah.
Superb. Anything else you want to mention about the movie?
Please watch it. Whoever is listening, if it's not on your to-do list of movies, it should be on your to-do list, especially for aspirants who want to get into the arts and into theater and blah 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 yada yada. Do give it a watch. Not once, maybe two, three times. There's a lot to figure out in that film, and watch it with a lot of patience. You know. But for those who are watching it for entertainment purposes, just stay glued to the screen, and I guarantee you're going to love this film. I guarantee you. And if not, then please contact me, and then we'll have a debate about it.
That's a good one.
you know. So yeah,
Yeah. Thanks.
that's what I would say, man.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Rohit, for joining us and sharing your honest reviews about this wonderful movie. Friends, don't go by the name. I was also thinking, is it for kids or I should just watch it with my wife. But yeah, Scent of a Woman, must watch as per Rohit, and I will definitely watch it along with my family. And yeah, if you've got a review to share for a movie or a short film, do let us know, and do join us on the review. Thank you, Rohit. All the
Thank
best.
you, Ravi. Ciao.